Greetings and welcome to another episode of Veterans of the Cedar Valley. My name is Tom Hagerty. I'll be your host today. Over the previous shows that we've brought you, we've brought in veterans from the various conflicts, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq, to share their experiences with us. Today in the studio, we're happy to have members of the Sartori Festival of Trees who will be here to talk today about the Veterans Breakfast, which is part of the festival. In the studio today, I'd like to introduce to you Joanne Dewey and Sid Morris, who are members of the committee. Welcome to both of you. Joanne, let's start with you and just give a brief explanation of the Veterans Breakfast and how it works into the Festival of Trees.
Well, first of all, Tom, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be the guest and to represent the Sartori Friends Committee for the festival.
Good.
This event started just last year, and we decided to have it because there was nothing in the community that addressed the veterans during this whole festival time. And we thought that it was important to do that because they, in turn, have certainly served us.
And the members of the committee volunteered to be on the committee, including the person next to you, Sid Morris, who's a volunteer connoisseur. And Sid, tell me about your role in the Festival of Trees Veterans Breakfast. What have you been assigned to do?
Well, the committee, we started the committee last year when we first decided to do the veterans for the program at the time. And I've been a member of the foundation for a number of years at Sartori, and of course the Festival of Trees is a very important part of this program. I was very happy to hear that they were going to feature the veterans this year and last year, and it was very popular. And my job this year is to sell tables for the breakfast event, which is going to be on November 17th. And it'll be, Joan, at the Gallagher Blue Dorn. Is that right?
That's correct.
The location is right in, excuse me, right in the lobby of the Gallagher Blue Dorn Theater.
Right.
And Joanne, what's in that lobby while we're having this breakfast?
You will get a sense of Christmas immediately, or certainly all the holidays that happen in December, but we move it to November.
And so,
from November 13th to November 20th, as you walk in the lobby, you'll see trees and wreaths, a wine tree of 100 bottles, a gift shop. There will be also a place where you can sit down, you can enjoy music, and there are going to be new sets of TVs around. It's going to be a beautiful place.
So the atmosphere for the Veterans Breakfast is right in the middle of that week-long Festival of Trees effort. And you know, last year's setting was very nice and very neat. And Sid, part of the festival is to, first off, to honor veterans, to have them come and enjoy a light breakfast.
Right.
Could you tell me, Sid, what happens with the ROTC? I'll jump right to that.
Well, ROTC, of course, they're at UNI, of course, as you all know, and they usually buy a table, and sometimes even more than that. So I'm planning on calling on the ROTC right away. They play an important role in this, and they've been very supportive of a lot of different veterans functions within the community. And
on the screen was a picture, and is a picture of the ROTC, and they bring in the colors, but then I think it's this year 4 or 5 young new members of the ROTC. Joanne, tell me what happens to them.
John Thompson at the UNI campus is responsible for the ROTC program, and he also is on this committee. John has promised us he will invite families. We will have them present during the ceremony, and he will conduct the ceremony himself.
And the ceremony will be the administration, induction of the oath of office as a cadet. And it's really neat that the parents will be there to see that, and that's part of the program. At last year's program and at this year's program, Sid, the past UNI president, Dr. Rood, welcomed everybody. And with him now gone, the acting interim president, will he be there too? Do you?
Well, he will be asked, that's for sure. But the staff at UNI, and especially the administration, they do support the event.
Okay.
And they're very pleased to have it at the Gallagher Budorn, which I think is an excellent place for the whole event.
Yep.
I have spent some time talking to his secretary, and he happens to have guests on campus from out of state that day.
Okay.
If he can slip away, he will, I am sure, but I question whether he'll be able to. But along with John Thompson and the ROTC, we will also have Norm Ferguson and all of the student veterans that are on the are students at University of Northern Iowa.
Sure. And part of the program this year also will be what I think is an excellent guest speaker, Joanne. Could you tell us just a little bit about who that speaker is going to be this year?
I'm so excited about the program. Marlene Bain, who is a citizen here in Cedar Falls, had a daughter, Beth Bain, who graduated from Cedar Falls High School. She is now on her third assignment away from the United States and is serving in Afghanistan as a colonel with an NATO or NATO. We are going to be able to hook up with her, and she is going to be our main speaker.
Okay, great. I was wondering if that was going to keep being kept a secret, but it's going to be exciting to be able to be there and witness that hookup. And Sid, I want to talk just briefly about a designation that you and I received a couple years ago about being a military-friendly university. Can you explain to our viewers what that means?
Well, yes, that hasn't always been the case. I want to say that. I've been here 60 years, and it hasn't always been the case. But I'll share with you, Dr. Rood was the one that really brought it to he was a veteran. He was a Navy man, officer, and the support from the University of Northern Iowa for veterans has really improved since that time. And I give credit to Dr. Rood. Good.
Joanne, briefly discuss what the brunch will consist of, and then we'll go into some other details on it.
Okay. As you enter the lobby of the Gallagher, we will have the student vets from the University of Northern Iowa greeting people. They will be very willing to help anyone from their cars. They will be willing to park the cars. They will be willing to get you to your tables. So you and your family will be greeted warmly. As you enter, there is no table assignment, so it's kind of first come, first serve, and there is limited seating. It will be a beautiful setting. There will be table decorations. And also, as you enter, you will get a raffle ticket. The raffle ticket will allow you to be part of a drawing, and there will be no charge for that raffle ticket.
Okay. And Sid, what will be the charge for a veteran to come to the breakfast? Is it going to be a $50 charge because of all the nice trees and things? Or?
The breakfast is $5. Isn't that correct, Joan?
That is.
And to sponsor a table is $100. And I checked with the lady in the office yesterday at Sortori, and she told me that they needed at least around 25 tables. And but I'd like to just for a moment talk about that, because if those viewing would like to be a table sponsor, please call me And my cell phone is 290-0813. Be happy to call them and fix them up with being a sponsor. And it's $100.
And that phone number will be answered 24 hours a day.
Well, I turn it off at night.
Yeah. Well, and as Joanne and everybody knows, when you give Sid a mission, he does it.
It does it. Yes, it is accomplished.
He was still out of town when we assigned him
Accomplished.
to do table sponsorships. But
I might say that the reason why we can charge only $5, because it costs at least 3 times that much for the breakfast, is because of the table sponsors, and also for the organizations, the local military organizations that support this event.
Right.
And I know we already have a contribution from one of the groups, and we're waiting to hear from the other 2.
yeah, and that would be the Cedar Falls Veterans Groups, the American Legion, the AMVETS, and the Veterans of Foreign War.
Yes.
Have been asked to be, I would call them major sponsors of it. Joanne, there'll be some entertainment, I think, and it was kind of enjoyable last year. Explain what it will be again this year.
There's a women's quartet called Wired for Sound. They have offered to come back, and also they have decided that they would be more than willing to participate in the breakfast, but they are not charging us for their entertainment.
Okay. And on the screen, as we talk about this, how does one make reservations to attend the breakfast with the limited seating? Who do they have to call, or?
It's best to call the Cedar Falls Sartori Foundation office, and that number is 319-268-3181.
Okay. And then Sid, we've asked the Cedar Falls Fire Department to participate in this festival breakfast. Can you explain a little bit about hopefully what they'll be able to do with the fire truck? And
Well, I'm not too familiar with that, Tom, but I know that they do participate in the event, do they not?
well, they were going to hoist the ladder up, the ladder truck, at the entrance with you holding the American flag at the top of it, but maybe you hadn't been informed about that.
Well, I haven't been informed yet. I'm too heavy for the ladder.
Yes, we would be very excited to have that aerial truck right out there to greet everyone that day.
Yeah.
We had hoped to have the aerial truck with the flag last year,
But
it was too windy.
Yeah. And then real quickly, I note that there's going to be parking right up next to the building, and that's important to a lot of the veterans who have a hard time moving around. So when they drive into the Gallagher Blue Dorn parking lot, there'll be a person there who will tell them, that they can park there or whatever. But there's plenty of parking. It's a $5 breakfast, a great speaker, a great time amongst that Christmas theme up at the Sartori Festival of Trees. And hopefully the proceeds, real quick, Joanne, what do the proceeds go to?
It's a patient care campaign, and in this campaign we are underwriting 3 different pieces of equipment. 5 monitors for the ICU, there's a tibial nail system, and a drill with bits that are going to be available for the surgeons who do orthopedic surgery. And we, all 3 of us, have had those pieces of equipment used on us. I'm glad they're getting new ones.
Well,
very up to date.
Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our little show concerning the Veterans Breakfast at the Festival of Trees for the Sartori Festival of Trees. We'd like to invite you to attend and get your reservations in early. And again, I'd like to thank my guests, Sid Morris and Joanne Dewey, who are members of the committee that are planning the Veterans Breakfast. And they did a great job last year. And again, we hope to see a number of you present. So thank you very much for tuning in to this abbreviated show of Veterans of the Cedar Valley. And please come back for our next episode. Thank you.